Voltaire. He was a philosopher. He was an author. He was French. He had a wife who had a husband who wasn't him. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly. He was a familiarizer. He was like the ancient Western Bill Nye the Science Guy. Woo! I'm not on cocaine, but I have had a lot of Coke Zero. Like 3 pints. You know Isaac Newton? Well, he fucking did, and he was all like, yo, Isaac Newton, that shit you're saying about the apple, pretty fucking cool. So he's talking to like Sir Isaac Newton's niece. I don't want to know what was going on between them two, but yeah, she was all like, okay, so this is Isaac Newton's formula, and Voltaire was all like, yo, that's pretty sexy, fam. So what he did was he summarized it in a way that commoners, stupid people, could understand. And basically, that's the reason today, the main reason today, that we know that Isaac Newton was all like, oh yeah, there's an apple and it's falling, so gravity. He also wrote a play called Candide. It's French, and it's about this dude who sees a bunch of sad shit and he's all like, optimism, but not regular optimism like what we have now, but optimism like, oh okay, well why does God allow good when there's loads of evil? And he was all like, perhaps. Okay, so Voltaire, he was the guy with the malt hair. He wrote some satires and they were mad fire, and he was like, fuck yeah. He had a wife who was quite nice. They had a nice life. She's in a painting with a mirror and she's got a tit out. It's weird, but yeah. I don't know where to go from there. Friedrich Nietzsche. He was a German dude who was really a bit of an asshole, but in a good way. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about Voltaire's religion. So Voltaire wasn't a very supportive person of Christianity or just organised religion as a whole. He despised idolatry and fanaticism. He hated cult followings. He really fucking hated priests and those kinds of people who would take advantage of the believers. He was alright with people who were like, oh well, I believe in God because it makes me happy. He was fine with that, but personally, we don't really know if he believed in God. He probably did. Friedrich Nietzsche, the guy with the sexy moustache, the dude who might have been a Nazi, but we'll ignore that for now. So he was all like, yo, we need an Ubermensch, but not like a Superman, but like a Superman. Well, we're close to apes and Ubermensch, but like we can lay the foundation. And basically, he wrote a bunch of books like The Gay Science. Forgot all the others. Friedrich Nietzsche was all about overlooking, and that was how you lived a happy life. Some bad shit happened and you were like, enough, I'm gonna hold my head up, moving on, and that's how you become Ubermensch. Not really, it would take centuries, but he was also really fucking famous for
God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him.
Now, he wasn't necessarily a Christian. He did not mean this in a theological sense, but rather in a social sense. Entertainment had kind of overshadowed religion, and most people used religion as a moral and emotional crutch, and Nietzsche was aware of this, and he was like, nah fam, you got like education and entertainment and shit, why do you need this mythological god faggotry? And oh, that's a really bad word, I shouldn't say that. Why do you need this religious cunt shit? And they were all like, I don't know. So he was all like, you don't even know why you worship God. And they're like, yes we do. And he was all like, prove it. He had a mental breakdown when he was 40 something and went mad and lived the rest of his life in misery.
Load!
But yeah, I like Friedrich Nietzsche. He's quite cool. I hope he wasn't a Nazi. I'm not going to look that up because I don't want to ruin it, because I've heard that he was a musician and a comedian, and that's just really cool. So yeah, let me just like the guy before I realise he's like Michael Jackson or something. Immanuel Kant! He was an ethicicizer. He did ethicicizing. And he wrote like he didn't know how to fucking speak proper English. He writes like a cunt. His morality... Fuck me, okay. His morality was all like, okay, basically act as if what you wanted to do was like a universal law for everybody and everybody had to do that. That's basically it, but he says it in like 500 words and it's fucking unbearable. And that's all I want to say about him because I hate him. He probably lived a really shitty life. I bet he was like 80 years old, which is ridiculous, because most people that age probably didn't live to like 60. Like fucking January from fucking a Canterbury's Tale or Banterbury's Tale. He died when he was 80, probably living on like a schedule of waking up, going for a 5-hour walk, doing lectures, then nothing else. Eating dinner for 3 hours maybe, I don't know. But yeah, let's move on to somebody interesting. Aristotle. Now, let's go further up. Plato. I'm going to talk about things that I kind of need to revise for RS, so I'm going to do that, but rather inefficiently. So, Plato was a dualist. He believed that the body and the soul were separate. He believed that the body was like physical, and basically lived in this physical, empirical, imperfect world, and that when you die, your soul goes to the world of forms, which is immaterial and perfect and nothing like degrades or any shit. It's basically heaven before Christianity was a thing. Now, Aristotle, he didn't exactly think the same way. He was all like, nah fam, I'm a monist, which means he only had one eyebrow. It means he believed that the soul and the body were one thing. I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard it's true. He believed that the soul was what made you, you. So when you died, your soul died with you, and that was like you being dead. What? Let's use an analogy that I stole from the textbook. Let's see if I can remember. Okay, so an eye. Say you are an eye, and sight, seeing, that's your soul. So when you die, you can no longer see. Your sight is gone, your soul is gone. You're not an eye anymore. You're a waste of space. I'm already a waste of space. Where's my soul? I don't know. But I think, and therefore I am. Descartes! Okay, so, Descartes was a dude much later on, but effectively, he was all like, well, I quite like what you said there, Plato. He believed in something called substance dualism, which is basically your thinking, your thoughts, are separate from your body. Your body is probably not real, but your thoughts are what makes you like exist or something. You know the guy who said, I think therefore I am? That's this cunt right here. Cogis ergo sum or something like that. It's Latin, and philosophers talk in Latin because they're weird. They like to get together and be like, okay, should we talk in Latin today? And they'll be like, no, that's fucking stupid. And they'd be like, shut up, bitch. Ex nihilo nihilo fit. Wingardium Leviosa. And that was how God was killed. No, but yes. I mean, no, but maybe. It's okay to question things. We're philosophers! Woo! He used to have loads of thoughts like, oh, what if there's a demon in my head manipulating my mind and making my maths calculations fucking wrong or something. He fucking thought that. And that is a mood! I don't know what a mood is, because moods don't really exist. I mean, having a mood is to think, but
does the mood itself exist? Because the thinking makes me exist, but does the thinking make the thinking exist? And by extension, does anything exist?
What is existence? He basically doubted that he existed, but then he was like, wait, doubting is thinking. So if I'm thinking, then obviously I must exist. Or something. And that was basically it. Except it really wasn't. The textbook's like 30 pages long. As I said, Descartes took some cues from dualist philosophies, believing the body and the soul, or in his case, the mind, were different, were separate entities. He did kind of copy Plato's homework a little bit. He was quite a big fan of Plato. But Diogenes, on the other hand, was not a fan of Plato. In fact, he lived in a barrel. He decided one day to march up to one of Plato's little lectures. I'm sure 5-year-old Aristotle was all here, like down here, maybe down here. I mean, we don't know what the Greeks were like. But yeah, Aristotle would have been all like, oh, teach me your ways, oh, Master Daddy Plato. And Master Daddy Plato was all like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, you ready to get fucking educated? Yeah, let's do some philosophizing and some ethicizing. I'm fucking Plato, bitch. So Diogenes nuts would come up to Plato's rallies and be all like, yeah, that's super fun and all, mate, but I'm gonna eat this carrot. and would basically talk over Plato's lectures because he thought Plato was a bit of a titwanker. Now, Plato probably didn't like that. Dionysus also told Alexander the Great to get out of the way, and Alexander the Great was all like, that's not very nice. Have you ever seen a picture of some guy throwing a bowl? That was Diogenes, probably, because he was like, he didn't wear clothes because he just liked the way the wind felt on his body, and he lived in a barrel or something, and he had a bowl, and then he saw a dog with a bowl, and he was like, fuck bowls, I don't need bowls, I'll drink from my fucking hands. So he fucking did. You bet your fucking ass he fucking did. He fucking did it. The fucking champ. I'm so fucking proud of him. I actually don't like carrots. So that is all we have time for today, because I've run out of things to say and I'm out of energy and my throat's really hurting and I'm coughing a lot, and I really want to get this horrible taste of carrot out of my mouth. Now that... So... Fuck you, I'm out. So that is all we have time for today. That is the end of the video. If you liked it, like it, and if you subscribed, then you're awesome. So I say bye, the props say bye, Diogenes' carrot says bye, and I shall see your bitch ass in the next video. Bye bye. No, God, why did I do that?